Arise, champion. Evan with your encouraging word of the day. And today's word is your setback is a setup for a comeback. Your setback is a setup for a comeback. Come on. One of my favorite stories in the Bible is the story of Joseph. Now, Joseph was the son of Jacob. Jacob had 12 sons. Joseph was the youngest son and the most favored by his father. And his brothers hated him, so they conspired against him, and they sold him into slavery to Egypt. All right? So he had a setback. But guess what? The evil actions of their brothers turned out to be beneficial for everybody because Joseph became an official and the whole land experienced famine. Canaan eventually, the land of Canaan, that's where his family was, and then they sold him into Egypt. But they came over to Egypt for help, and Joseph was the guy in charge. So your setback is a setup for a comeback. All right, you know how an airplane takes off? It doesn't go with the wind, it goes against the wind. You know how a rubber band is useful? It has to be stretched. That's the only way for a rubber band to be useful, is it's stretched. Okay? And then slingshot, right? So think of a slingshot. Exactly. Think of a slingshot. You got to pull it back to launch it. And that's what happens with each setback. All right, you can't have a testimony without a test. You can't have a message without a mess. You can't have success without the struggle. Because when you're struggling, when you're actually going through, when you're in the trenches, that's when God is building you into the man or woman He's calling you to be. One of my favorite verses, Galatians 6:9. And let us not grow weary while doing good, for in due season we shall reap if we do not lose heart. Listen, I know all you see right now is a struggle. But if you give up, you give up. But if you don't give up, if you don't lose heart, you have harvest to reap. You have a harvest to reap if you do not give up. Okay, all you see right now is a struggle. But guess what? Place your hope in the future while being grateful for this present moment, because this present moment is going to build you. Place your hope in the future. Create a vision of what it's going to be like to get through the struggle, whatever you're going through right now. Maybe you just got out of a relationship. Guess what? You're going to be blessed with an even better relationship. Come on, someone receive that right now. Maybe you just lost your job. Guess what? You're going to be blessed with an even better job, a job that pays way more. So, the message of today is your setback is a setup for a comeback. Do not lose heart. Do not lose heart, for you will reap a harvest if you do not give up. All right, so that's the message for today. I don't know who needs to hear that, but the work instills the worth. I love that. I don't know who I got that from, but the work instills the worth. If you're just handed something, it has no value, it has no worth. But if you have to work for it, if you have to put your sweat, your tears, your blood into getting something, it's going to be far more valuable. So guess what? Treasure that thing that you're aiming for, because it's going to be worth it. Going through the struggle right now, it's going to be worth it. Like I said, you can't have a testimony without first having a test. So the message of today is your setback is a setup for a comeback. Love y'all. Like I said, just receive that today. We keep it real. We keep it raw. To God be the glory.